I'm Adam. Welcome to my first attempt at a YouTube video. Today, going to discuss NFTs. I don't really have a plan. I got kind of a mental outline. I'm not sure how long this will be, but my goal is to leave you with an understanding of NFTs, how to get started, how to interact with. Um, Browse some NFT collections, analyze some properties within NFT collections. So ultimately, by the end of this, you can decide if getting involved with NFTs is something you want to do. Um, in any case, at the end of this, find some way to give me feedback, leave a comment below, reach out to me if we're in touch. Um, and perhaps recording videos like this is something I can continue to do. So, um, I assume most people have some experience with cryptocurrency. Perhaps you own some cryptocurrency on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Binance, Crypto.com, or maybe you just trade crypto on like a Robinhood. Um, you are going to have to buy cryptocurrency on a platform that lets you withdraw it. You need cryptocurrency, specifically Ethereum, in your own wallet to start interacting with NFTs. So there's plenty of content on the internet to figure that out. Um, and yeah, so we're going to start kind of like at a high level. I really don't have a plan. I've got kind of a mental outline, and I've prepared one like diagram here. And then I'm just going to kind of go. Um, so to start, we'll talk about where NFTs are stored. Why Ethereum? Why not Bitcoin? That type of stuff. So most people are familiar with Bitcoin, so I'm going to start up here. Um, and this is just kind of how the blockchain ledger is structured, right? Like what's it look like? So for a coin like Bitcoin, it's just a spreadsheet, right? That's what a ledger is. And Bitcoin's just got two columns. It's got an address column and a value column, right? So this address has 5 Bitcoin. There's not much more to it. And there's other tokens like this, right? Like your Dogecoin, Monero, Litecoin, right? Like they're not smart contracts. You don't do much with them except store value. And depending on how efficient it is, how the cost of sending and receiving, how fast it is how people determine to use them. So that's that's that. And then you get into smart contract platforms like Ethereum, where it starts like this, but it's deeper. So with Ethereum, you have your coin at your parent level at the top. So Ethereum, this address, you have this many. But with smart contracts, you can store tokens. So the coin is the parent, and then you have your tokens within. So another example here could be Matic or Polygon, right? Um, BNB, Smart Chain. And whatever your parent coin is what you use to pay gas fees to transact. So in the case of Ethereum, we may have an Ethereum wallet and you may have a token like Chainlink, right? So if you own some Chainlink cryptocurrency, that's a token on the Ethereum network. So your Chainlink exists in an Ethereum wallet, and you use Ethereum to pay for fees to transact, you don't pay to receive, but to send Chainlink. Um, if you're dealing with a decentralized exchange like Uniswap or 1inch, to exchange between Ethereum and Chainlink or USDT and Chainlink, anything on that ERC20 protocol, you're using Ethereum to pay the fees. So same with NFTs because we're mainly going to talk about NFTs on Ethereum today. NFTs do exist on other chains like Wax, for example, Polygon. We're starting to see now, um, but just to reduce confusion, and most of the valuable NFTs exist on Ethereum. So I've got my Ethereum wallet here, and I already maybe own some Ethereum tokens. We know how that works. So NFTs are just tokens. They just go a little deeper. So in this Ethereum wallet, I own maybe two punk tokens, right? Crypto punks. And my two punk tokens, these are their unique IDs. So let's say I own punk number 510 and I own punk number 234. I also may own two Axes. This is Axie Infinity. This is the play to earn game on the blockchain. So I may own Axie number this and Axie number this, right? So these are NFTs, but they're tokens. Um, so with NFTs, you have an extra cell, and the cell contains the content of the NFT. Is it an image? Is it a video? Is it a code snippet? Whatever it may be. And just like building a website, that content has to be stored somewhere, right? So here's my website or here's my NFT. I want to place this source image. That source image has to point to that file stored somewhere. And the most common storage up until blockchain is just centralized storage, right? So what's an example of centralized storage? Dropbox. So we store files on Dropbox, right? But what makes it centralized? Dropbox not only is kind of in control, but if Dropbox were to go out of business, or if there was an outage, we would lose access to our files, right? Like so the biggest example or the biggest centralized storage is AWS, Amazon Web Services, right? That's where Instagram, Facebook, every tech giant is storing their data on Amazon Web Services. Um, so, you know, Amazon at the end of the day has the keys. And we saw an example of this earlier this year when that social media app, like a right-wing media app called Parler, came out when Trump got banned from Twitter, right? This Twitter clone came out, and the App Store banned it, the Play Store banned it, and then Amazon decided to remove it from its servers, right? So Amazon made a decision at the end of the day, and they were in control, and they said, we don't want this app's data on our servers, and it kind of put an end to that app. So when it comes to NFTs and the blockchain now, we have this new decentralized storage. So just like a crypto where it's decentralized, there's no central authority. You have that with storage now. You may have heard of Filecoin, or there's platforms like Arweave or Pinata. These are protocols where you actually can store data in a decentralized manner. So there is no point of attack. There is no one's in charge, um, and no one can take it down. Once it's published there, it's permanent, not going anywhere, can't be edited. It's written to the ledger and it's there. So um, generally, when you're looking at NFTs, you want NFTs that are stored on decentralized storage. You don't want to buy an NFT where the maker of that NFT can later change it or edit it. We've seen this happen where a collection of NFTs will come out, people will buy them, and then they'll open their wallet next week and it's a photo of, just a black picture because whoever created that NFT stored it in a centralized manner and they went and edited it later. And not much you can do about it. So this idea of storing on decentralized storage, the technical term is IPFS, in an interplanetary file system. And I'm going to show later when we look at some NFTs how to determine if it's decentralized or not. So for example, CryptoPunks, right? You got the image and you have some metadata. This metadata and image are stored on decentralized storage, and then the NFT inside these brackets points to this on that decentralized server storage. So it's not going anywhere. Um, Hundreds of years down the line, it'll still be there. There are some examples of where it's appropriate for NFTs to be stored in a centralized manner, and Axie Infinity is one of them, right? So Axie Infinity is a game, and you have the image, like the character, and then you have the metadata, which is like its HP or its energy, things like that. These are stored centrally because Axie Infinity updates the game, they update the mechanics. This may change. I don't play Axie Infinity, but as an example, they may say one day, hey, we're increasing the energy of all the ones with the pink tail by 5. So they need the ability to make adjustments. Therefore, this data can't all be decentralized. So this is just an example of when centralized storage is appropriate. But you don't want to buy a high priced piece of art as an NFT that's not decentralized, because wherever it's stored, if that were to get shut down or attacked or whatever happens, you're at risk of losing that metadata. And um, don't, it just defeats the purpose. So, you know, um, high level, I hope this makes sense. You know, how these NFTs are stored in a wallet um, as tokens. So that's that. Um, Before we connect the wallet, I'm going to go back to this little image I made and kind of just review some different types of NFTs. I know I got my video down here, but it's all right. So if we look at these, and I try to put some examples of different types of NFTs, not by just the collection. Of course, they're all from different collections, but different sectors maybe of the NFT market. Um, so if we start to group these together, right, we can say these guys and this guy and this guy and her, right? These all have in common, and this guy even, profile picture NFTs, PFP, avatars. So the intent of these is to use it as your profile picture. You know, each of these examples here, um, has a social community angle. Um, you have hash masks, crypto punks, bored apes, gutter cats, world of women, and boys by Lorona. All kind of different. And we'll dive into some of these different ones like in a little more detail, but just so you can see this kind of section, and when you see NFTs anywhere, you should be able to identify like what type of NFT is this. These are all PFP, profile picture NFTs. Um, they kind of, it's like being in a fraternity. So if you're on Twitter, Twitter is kind of like what drives the NFT uh, wave. So if you don't use Twitter now or you're not active and you want to get in NFTs, you're going to have to become more active on Twitter. Follow NFT influencers, follow projects. That's how you'll know what's going on. You can gauge the social sentiment of a project. And if you decide you like the gutter cats and you own a gutter cat, you should follow other people who also have gutter cats as their profile picture. That's your like little community. Bored apes, crypto punks, same applies to all of these. Um, so profile pictures. Then you have kind of these guys. So this is called a Fidenza, and this is a Chromie squiggle, and these are both generative art. So developers or a coder wrote some code or a script that the output is these artworks. So these weren't all made by hand. There was a script that said, hey, using these shapes and these different rules or whatever, output 10,000 at random. And then, or however many. And then the output are things like this. And they all have different attributes. Like Fidenzas, for example, how dense is it? How wavy is it? How many colors are in it? Um, things like that. So these are so when you see a collection of art that's just kind of all, I don't want to say random, but random within the constraints, it's generative art. Um, and then you've got some more outlier things. So like this up here is a curio card. This is just OG. This is the first NFT collectible system. Not necessarily the first NFT ever, but I think there's 18 of these, 1 through 18, and there's different quantities of each one. And these were 2016, 2017, I believe. Um, so just super OG. If you believe in the, theory that like the first will become the valuable, something to pay attention to. And when it comes to the profile picture sector, hash masks are the OG. They were the first. Don't quote me on that. CryptoPunks may have been first. These are both OG, but hash masks is one of the projects that they generated a whole bunch of these. They're all very different, but they share properties and attributes. So some are more rare than others. And I think there's an opportunity with hash masks now because a lot of people have, you know, moved on to the more newer projects, so you can get great deals on hash masks today. I think they're due for a big comeback. Just because they were kind of, well, they are OG. Um, and, and then you've got just some like miscellaneous stuff like CryptoKitties are also OG. These are 2017. These came out. You could buy these cats. You could breed them. Um, so the metadata is like how many times has it been bred, how rare is it, what colors is it, what's his eyes look like, all these type of things. So this is a really cheap project to get into now. You can get these for like probably 20 bucks. And yeah, then this is a fuck crystal, FVCK, by an artist called Fuck Render, who's a really big, dope, successful artist in NFTs. His art is auctioned for multiples of tens, thousands of dollars. And he released these crystals. I think there's 4,000 or around there of them. And owning one of these will give you early access to upcoming releases. So if you know that this artist, every time he releases something, the demand is way greater than the supply, therefore there's a high resale after the release. If you want that advantage of being first in line, you need to own one of these fuck crystals out of this collection. So that's kind of how that works, and we'll look at these closer. And then I put these here. These are monster blocks. This is a new project. It just got a really cool mechanic where you buy these little blocks of characters, and they have a way on the website where you connect your wallet. And if you own more than one of them, it shows you all your monster blocks, and you can stack them. And when you stack them, you burn the original individual blocks, and it mints a new NFT, which is a tower. And you can continue to stack higher, 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 and then put it in, your virtual world or virtual portfolio, something like that. So some NFT projects have some kind of cool angle. Um, some of them give you membership benefits. Some of them are just OGs that, one day this is like your Pokemon thing. It may be 5 years, it may be 10 years, but I guarantee one day owning a curio card will mean something. Then you got your generative art, and you've got your kind of profile pictures. And then you got your game things. Like these are Axie Infinity. This is what we talked about down here. If you're a gamer, you buy these little characters, you battle them, and then you can earn the SLP cryptocurrency, and you pretty much play to make money, right? Like we hear people all over the world are quitting their jobs and playing Axie Infinity full time because they're making more money than they would be working. Um, so if you're a gamer, you can look into that type of thing. And then there's also like just the art, or let's say photographer, type of NFTs where it's like more of the traditional release style. Like, hey, I'm an artist. I'm going to release, this painting as a one of one on the blockchain, or, and then people can just collect. But it's not really part of a greater system. Um, it's just more like traditional. So on any NFT collection that you're looking at, you want to kind of understand what's the purpose, what am I getting, um, what's the social sentiment, what's the reason. Other than that, you just like it, right? There's always going to be, people that are like, why would I even, want to get involved with this type of thing? Um, these Chrome squiggles now are, I mean, you may be able to find some under $20,000, but up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars for these. Fidenza's even higher. Like you can't even get a Fidenza for less than like probably 50 grand right now. We'll check in a minute. But they were each 1 Ethereum or less earlier this year, right? So big opportunity. Just gotta know what to look for, and you know, and you'll do all right. Um, so to interact with NFTs, you need a wallet. Um, MetaMask is the preferred wallet. You use that on a browser like Chrome or Brave. So I use the Brave browser, which is built on like the Chrome foundation. It's just got some security benefits. But in any case, and I've uninstalled MetaMask before here, so I can go through and do it with you. So I'm just going to go to MetaMask, Google MetaMask, and then download, install for Brave. All right, so once you've installed MetaMask, we'll hit get started. You have the opportunity to restore your existing wallet with your recovery phrase. We're going to hit just create wallet, agree to the terms. Here we're going to put in a password. This isn't your recovery seed or your private key. This is just the wallet, just the password for this interface. Like just if you restart your computer and you open up your browser and you click MetaMask, you're going to type in this password just to open MetaMask, right? So just put something you use often. You're not going to forget. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Right, next. So now we get to the secret backup phrase. This is to restore your MetaMask. So I'm going to do it later, but you want to do that, write it down, and then you get into your wallet. So right now I've got my wallet, that's my address. First thing I want to do is go to the dots and go to account details and name it. So I'm just going to call this demo 1. If it's yours, maybe call it main wallet or NFT wallet or something, whatever. But you want to export your private key. So we saw that recovery phrase a second ago, and that's really just to restore MetaMask and the accounts within it, which is good. But your private key is the actual like recovery of this Ethereum wallet. So if you want to download, like for example, I don't like the MetaMask iPhone app, right? I use a different Ethereum wallet on my phone, but I want to access the same wallet. So MetaMask is just the interface. It's not the actual, you can use it in a different one. So I use Rainbow because I like the NFT viewer in Rainbow. So if I download the Rainbow app on my phone, I export the private key here. I type in my MetaMask password and it'll give me the private key. And then I paste that private key in the Rainbow wallet. So now I've got the same wallet on MetaMask and my phone in Rainbow, and it's the same wallet. So that's how that works. So I can close, and I'm going to go over to this little puzzle piece, and I'm going to pin MetaMask to my toolbar. So there it is, and we're all set. So now you can withdraw or send Ethereum to this wallet, right? So if you're on an exchange and they allow you to withdraw, you want to send here. If you already have Ethereum in another wallet, you want to send some here. You need to get a wallet with Ethereum in it, because remember, you need Ethereum to pay for any of the transactions we're going to do with any tokens or NFTs in our wallet. So you can't do anything. You can receive, but we can't send, or we can't bid, or we can't buy, or we can't do anything without some Ethereum. Cool. So now I'm gonna go onto OpenSea. So OpenSea is the like the main NFT marketplace. There are a few of them. OpenSea and Rarible are the, I think, biggest. Um, there are also other ones that are kind of like more boutique, I guess, like Maker's Place, Nifty Gateway, um, Foundation. There are a few. Um, but OpenSea kind of sources all NFTs that are on the Ethereum blockchain. So if I were to make an NFT and mint it manually, like as a developer, and store my files on IPFS, and then attach my metadata and send it to the blockchain, and I didn't use any marketplace, OpenSea, it'll still appear on OpenSea. If I mint a NFT on Rarible, it will appear here on OpenSea. If I mint on Maker's Place, it will appear here on OpenSea. So it's decentralized in that manner, where kind of anything that's on the Ethereum blockchain will appear on OpenSea. But OpenSea does have the authority to blacklist NFTs so they don't appear, right? So like, um, if I were to try to impersonate Banksy or something, and I were to just start minting Banksy art, and it was brought to OpenSea's attention, they would blacklist my um, account, so it doesn't, so none of those NFTs appear here. They're still on the blockchain. They're still in my wallet. I can still send and receive them. They will still appear maybe on other marketplaces until it gets blacklisted there. So you can't actually take the NFT off the blockchain, but you can hide it from your marketplace's interface, which is called blacklisting. So it is easy to create NFTs and create collections. So you do always have to be careful that you're, not buying something that's fake, or something that's, like if a new NFT collection is coming out tonight, um, there are people who are creating fake versions of it now to trick people in a couple hours, right? So you do always want to make sure that you're, finding the right one. Um, if you follow that collection on Twitter, or if you're in their Discord, they'll post their official OpenSea account, because they're probably not verified yet if they're brand new. Otherwise, you just want to deal with with verified accounts on OpenSea. So up here in the menu, of course, you can search. You can search a collection, a keyword, a wallet address. You can search really anything. Marketplace, they've kind of categorized all the different types of NFTs. Stats, where we can go and see the rankings of the top collections, and the kind of analysis of that stuff. Activity is really cool. I'm going to show you later how I use activity to find good prices on NFTs that I've been looking for, like on my watch list. Resources, not really going to spend time in here. And then, of course, you can create NFTs. But what I want to do first is connect my wallet to OpenSea. So if I go to OpenSea and I hit, because right now if I go to MetaMask, we're going to see demo 1 is not connected to this website, right? So that's how you can always tell if you're connected to whatever site you're on. So I'm going to you can do this a few ways, right? I'm going to just hit this connect. So it actually doesn't let me. So it says to connect, find the connect button on their website. So that's what we'll do. So I'm going to hit profile, sign into your wallet, sign in. choose the wallet you want to connect with, connect. So now we can see that I'm connected. So there's a little bug right now. I experienced this earlier in the day. I need to refresh and then it'll be fine. Here we go. So now I'm on my profile. Here's my wallet address, same that's up here, 4A8B, 4A8B. I can go to settings and change my username. I can upload a picture. I can do all that stuff. But you'll notice there's no email, no password. Your wallet is your sign-in. That's the authentication that they use. If you need to sign up with an email and password for anything in blockchain, it's probably not that decentralized. There's probably some centralized element, right? Um, so just kind of rule of thumb. Once I'm on my profile, I can see the NFTs I've collected, what I've created, what I've favorited. I can look at my activity and I can look at any pending offers that I have. So bouncing back here, let's look at, we're going to go into a few examples of these. I'm going to go to stats and I'm going to go to rankings. So this is kind of the best place to start to just see like, hey, what's popular now? And just like anything, right? Just because it's popular now doesn't mean it's the best time to get in, but you have to be aware. You have to know what's popular, why it's popular, and you know, that kind of stuff. So we see here that CryptoPunks are and this is sorted by volume, right? So CryptoPunks obviously is the most, has the most volume of transactions. This is, I mean, Ethereum's 3,200 right now. So if we go 18,400 times 3,200, so there's been $58.8 million of transactions in the CryptoPunks collection. Pudgy Penguins is next. This one just shot up out of nowhere. This was minted around 20 days ago for like less than 0.1 Ethereum, and now the floor price, the cheapest one you can buy is 3 Ethereum. So crazy gains if you got into this early. Art Blocks Curated. Art Blocks is the generative art. So the Art Blocks platform is where generative artists release their NFTs, and then they all show up on OpenSea. Bored Ape Yacht Club. Bored Ape Yacht Club kind of set the standard for like what a community within a collection, in the NFT space should be. So Bored Ape Yacht Club has a lot of perks for its members, a lot of cool stuff too. Like they do exclusive merchandise drops, like hats and T-shirts and hoodies. And when they do this, and you go to the e-commerce site when that stuff drops, you have to connect your wallet. It verifies that you own a Bored Ape, and then it lets you in, right? So these APIs and plugins for e-commerce sites and for Discord, like in the Discord, there's a members only area, and you connect your wallet. It verifies you own a Bored Ape, and then only Bored Apes are in that channel. So cool community, and we share ideas in there. We talk about upcoming projects. We trade amongst each other, and it's a real community. Gutter Cats, cool. It's kind of like a lot of projects are following the Bored Ape formula. A lot of people are priced out of Bored Apes now. I think the cheapest Bored Ape, I'm just going to say 30,000. Maybe it's give or take a couple thousand, but Gutter Cats, I think the floor maybe $5,000. But if this becomes if Bored Apes continues to grow, Gutter Cats will follow. Same type of 10,000, all unique, and and we're going to get into in a minute like how to judge like each individual one and what makes one more valuable than another within a collection and things like that. But just at a high level, I just want to go through like what these collections are. Women of the World is another 10,000 PFP profile picture collection. This one was made by women, supporting women, I think. So when you make an NFT collection, you can program a royalty that will always go back to the creator's wallet. So the collection gets out there, and let's say I buy one, and then I sell it. When I sell it, a percentage of that transaction goes back to the World of Woman wallet. The person that I sold it to, they sell it. A percentage of that goes back to the World of Woman wallet. So the World of Woman wallet is making residual, income forever, essentially, as long as there's any trade or any transactions happening among the collection. So what they do is they donate, and again, don't quote me on exactly what they do, who they're donating to, but I believe they donate that money they make um, from the transactions in the collection to, they donate it to some charity. Actually, a lot of them do. Even Bored Ape does. Bored Apes donate uh, that commission to some wildlife charity or something like that. So these are all kind of like 10,000 of them. They all have properties. They all have some cause. They all create some community. Um, they all have some exclusive element, access to things. And there's even, we're starting to see even perks in the real world, like um, access to events, VIP access at concerts, perks at businesses if you own one of these. Um, so I know that there's Bored Ape members who are business owners who give perks to Bored Apes who are customers, whatever they may be. And we're going to see that continue down the line. Profile pictures is just an easy transition for people to understand and use NFTs. NFTs have potential way beyond art and profile pictures in general, because in that little snippet, in this little source, you can hold anything. It could be a legal document, it could be an ownership document, it could be a deed, it could be anything. But art, images, is just kind of the wave right now. And soon these will all be OG. I say like curio cards, crypto kitties, and hash masks are OG today because they are, but we're still early. And I think once we see the big IP titans, your Disney, Nickelodeon, I mean not Nickelodeon, Nintendo, um, you know, like with NFTs on the blockchain, that's more gonna, bring NFTs mainstream. Um, right now, it's kind of tough for people to get Ethereum, get it in a wallet, do a transaction, pay the fees. Um, so once you go through it a few times, it makes complete sense. But for the average, consumer, I think things will get easier. But I think the benefit and the opportunity of getting through those hurdles to be involved now and get possession of some of this OG stuff will pay off big time, long term and short term. So, not financial advice though. Do your own research. Okay, so all right, so yeah, while we're here, I'm gonna go back and we're gonna look at a collection and kind of analyze a collection. What's the deal, right? So we'll do Bored Apes. And everything I'm talking about with Bored Apes applies to pretty much all of these collections because they all kind of follow the same formula. So when we get to the collection page, Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's verified, I'm at the right spot. We see there's 10,000 items, 5.2 thousand owners, so that means it's pretty decentralized. On average, the average owner owns less than two, so meaning there are people that own a couple or maybe three, four, five Bored Apes, but there aren't a lot of whales. There's no one that can really impact the market by dumping at a low price or things like that. So the more owners, in a perfect world, there's 10,000 NFTs and 10,000 owners. Everyone that owns one only owns one. So no one can impact the market, that much. And as time goes on, I think we passed this mark last week. So at first it was 3,000 because these were very cheap when they came out. These were, a couple $100 in maybe March or April is when they came out for a couple $100 each. So at couple $100 each, some people bought a couple of them. Like when collections come out now, I buy, maybe 5 or 10 of them. So I can sell a couple, make my money back, and then depending on how the collection's moving going forward, I either hold or just continue to sell, whatever. So there are still people that maybe spent $2,000 on day one and they own 10 bored apes and they still have them. Um, you know, so we see the floor price of this collection is 13.3, so that means the cheapest ape is 13.3 Ethereum. That's the cheapest one you can get. And then the volume traded 70.4 thousand. I always like to do the math. So $225 million, which makes me think the math I did on the CryptoPunks earlier is wrong. Anyways, um, so a lot of volume. We know these are OGs. And you see when you look at these, we're going to dive in, but I just want to point out this little um, snowflake frozen. That's how we know on OpenSea that it's decentralized, right? So if I click one of these and I go down to details, metadata, frozen. This item's metadata was permanently locked and stored in decentralized file storage, right? So they can't change it. It's not going anywhere. This collection is decentralized. It will live on forever. It's up for the people to decide, its value, things like that. Just like Bitcoin. Same thing. Like it can't be deleted. So when you sometimes you want to look for this frozen. Now sometimes there's not the frozen and it's still decentralized because NFTs can be published in so many different ways. OpenSea doesn't always show the icon, but this is one thing to look for. If we went here and if we went to details and we saw metadata editable, red flag, right? That means that whoever created this NFT can still edit it. They can change the picture, they can change the title, they can change metadata. So we want to stay away from edited. If this metadata line just isn't here, contract, token ID, blockchain, that's it, it's probably decentralized. It could not be, but that just means it was um, it wasn't published on a marketplace. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We'll look at some examples so I can give so I can be more accurate. But in the details of an NFT, we can see that um, that it's frozen. So let's go back to Bored Apes. Um, and these right now are, I don't know what they're sorted by. They're not sorted by price. They're really not sorted by anything, I don't think. So if we wanted to discover this floor price and actually sort these by like what's for sale by price low to high, we could just go to filter by what's on sale, so buy now, and then sort price low to high. Let me move this over here. Okay. So now we're actually looking at floor prices. So this label up here, this actually refreshes like once maybe every hour. So sometimes this and the actual cheapest one will be different, but it's usually pretty close. But yeah, so the cheapest Bored Ape right now is 13.47. It's around $43,000. So if we analyze it, um, it's got some offers. So it's up to this guy to accept these offers if he wants to. It has properties. So if we look at the properties, now let me move this again. So if we just look at this guy, right? Blue background, hat, eyeballs poking out, earring, sailor shirt. Okay. That's what we're going to look at here. We can actually see the percentage of how rare, like how often this trait occurs in the collection, therefore like how rare it is. So just by looking at these percentages, the fact that it has a sailor shirt, only 3% have a sailor shirt. Same with the hat, the army hat, 3%. So between those two traits, and crazy eyes is a 4%, but between the sailor shirt and the army hat, that's what kind of makes this one that's its rarest traits. Um, okay, maybe we'll look at another one, like this guy. Okay, so orange hat, bloodshot eyes, big smile, rainbow suspenders. So look at the properties. 1% of Bored Apes, so there's 10,000 of them, right? So 100 apes have rainbow suspenders. So that's what makes him, that's why he may demand a higher price than the collection's floor price, right? Because this trait is rare. And I'm going to show you a tool in a minute to tie this together. Um, but if you own a Bored Ape, you don't want to just come here and say, hey, my Bored Ape's worth 13.3 Ethereum just because that's the cheapest Bored Ape. That's the cheapest Bored Ape with, because of the traits that it has. It's not very desirable. Um, if you have a Bored Ape with the laser eyes, you know, you're out of here. You're not gonna, you're at 10 times the floor, um, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, and you can do this for any collection. So let's go back to our Figma here. Let's look at, say, gutter cats. So a little more. So the floor here on Bored Apes 13.3. Most people are priced out. Not a lot. You don't have people don't have $40,000 to buy like an NFT. So if we go to gutter cats, because we see, hey, gutter cats have a big following on Twitter, the community's engaged, the social sentiment is high. I've been tracking the prices for the past couple days and I see that the floor is rising. So now I want to enter. We'll come on OpenSea, we'll go to the gutter cat gang. Floor price 2.59, right? So way more affordable than 13. This is, let's say, 5,000 bucks. Um, you know, so same thing. Now, instead of just clicking one and looking at its properties, from the collection page, we can go to filter and we can check all the properties here. So just by clicking through these, like say eyes, we can see that 369 have yellow eyes and so on and so on. So if I scroll all the way down, it looks like the rarest eyes are the laser BTC and there's only 33. And I can filter that. So I can say, hey, like what's the cheapest one with the rarest eyes? Laser BTC, go to my filter, buy now, sort by price, low to high, and we can get a laser BTC for 7.5 ETH. It's a lot higher than the collection floor, but you're getting the Bitcoin laser eyes. And if we were to buy this one for 7.5 ETH, the next one is 10 ETH. So there may be an opportunity here, as an example, to buy this and then sell it for 10, like just 10 even, because someone out there who wants to get the laser eyes, you're buying the floor and you're making the new floor, but you're also making 2.5 Ethereum profit, right? By making the floor. Now, if the next one was 7.6, not so much because you'd be buying yours and then there's already someone. Now that's if you have intent to sell, right? But it's not an arbitrage, but you see what's happening here, like the difference between these two. You can buy, make the new floor, but there's and still make a little bit of profit. So it's interesting. And then once the 10s get bought up, this will get bought up, then the 10s will get bought up, and then the next one's 13. So if you have a longer time horizon, buy this for 7, list it at 13, wait for this to get bought, wait for this to get bought, then you're next, and that's just analyzing the eyes. You also have the hats, the shirts, the tattoos, the background, the hair, all this stuff, right? But, if you take the time to get familiar with the collection, so what did we just look at? We looked at eyes. So let me turn off the eye filter. You could do the same with any, but you're kind of isolating and you're looking at trait by trait, which can be a little tricky. So that's why I like to use a tool called Rarity Tools. So with Rarity Tools, it does something kind of cool where you can, well, first, when you go to Rarity Tools on the home page, these are all upcoming collections, you know, and you just got to do research, but this is a good place to see like what's coming out, what's new. These Vox, for example, came out 2 days ago. They were 0.08 ETH each, so less than $200 each. And in the past 2 days, they've done, sorry, I just want to look at the volume. In the last 2 days, they've done $9.2 million in volume, right? Like probably one of the fastest I've ever seen in 2 days. So it's a collection worth seeing if the floor is in your budget, getting familiar with the traits, trying to find a good one, buying it and holding it. Because if it's done, whatever that was, almost $10 million in volume in 2 days, it's probably got a community that's, definitely mentally invested and financially invested at this point. Um, where, Moondogs, maybe a cash grab. I don't know. If you're into Moondogs, maybe I'm wrong. But just as an example, you know, there are projects that probably pay Rarity Tools to, well, actually they do to get featured here, right? So it's kind of the wild, wild west. You just need to do research and check the socials, check the numbers, see if it's something that you like, and that makes sense. Um, so let's go back to gutter cats. So I'm on Rarity Tools, and I'm gonna go up here to all collections, and I'm gonna search gutter cats. Okay. And what Rarity Tools does, and maybe I'll move myself up here for this, is it ranks all of the gutter cats in order, 1 through 10,000. So this is the rarest, right? And it's probably not justified, but this guy's got it listed for like millions of dollars. um, so this is the rarest one, and you could go through all 10,000 in order of rarity. And if you own one, you can type it in. I'm just going to type in a random number like 445, I don't know. And it's going to pull up that gutter cat. And what's cool is it does this. It gives it a rarity score, which does play into that ranking, but I really don't pay attention to this because it's hard to read and it's not like 236. Like that, it just doesn't mean anything to me. Um, out of what? That would be nice. Anyways, what is helpful is these floor prices. So this is the floor price, the cheapest price that you can buy one of these with this trait. So this one specifically, I want to skim this and find the highest number. The highest number happens to be the fur camo. So the cheapest gutter cat you can buy with fur camo, and this one probably isn't on sale, like this isn't it, but the cheapest gutter cat you can buy with fur camo is 3.29 ETH. Okay, so if you own this one, that's the value that I would put on it right now. Like my gutter cat is worth 3.29, the floor price of its most valuable trait. Let's type in another random number here. It's 1026, so I'm gonna go 1026. Okay, let's check it out. So it looks like the best trait is also at the top here, and it has a vape in its mouth. Um, 3.15 ETH is the cheapest gutter cat with a vape in its mouth. Okay, cool. Now I know. So that's how you can kind of judge, like, or assess a specific, whether you own it or you're looking at it, things like that. Maybe you were searching and you're like, yo, I love this. I love this one with the headphones, right? Is it is it worth it for me to pay 2.84 ETH? Because it has headphones. I see that headphones is only a 5% trait. You know, you could come to Rarity Tools, choose the collection, go down to the traits, go to the necklace, I think it was, click headphones, filter by buy now, that means what's on sale, sort by price, low to high, And funny enough, it is. I think that's the one. Yeah, we were looking at 551, so it is. So this is the cheapest gutter cat with headphones, right? But you get the idea. If we had clicked this one and it's 3.5 ETH, and your objective is just to get one with headphones, you could have saved some money because there are cheaper ones with headphones. Okay, so a lot of things you can do here with Rarity Tools. If you're shopping, make sure that you filter by buy now. Another thing I like to do here is, let's say I'm in the market for a gutter cat, and I really don't care which one I get. I don't care what property it has specifically. I just want one I want the rarest one that I can get. Um, on OpenSea, you can't do that, right? Like we can filter all of them by price. I can say filter buy now, sort low to high, right? But when we look at this here, how do I know, like between these two, right? How do I know this one? How do I know which one's rare? How do I know, sometimes because of the visuals, you can tell like, okay, this one's definitely more than that one. But for some of these floor ones, they're the floor for a reason, right? Like they're not that special, but sometimes, um, it would just be nice to know. So on Rarity Tools, go to the project, filter by what's for sale, um, sort by price, low to high. Oh, let me turn off this trade filter. I just want to see all of them, right? Okay, so now, we on page one? Yeah. So now, the actual NFT's ID number is down here. The number up here is its rank out of 10,000. Okay, so number one is the rarest. So we're sorted now by price. Oh, and you know what? With gutter cats, there's only 3,000. Not sure I mentioned that. So most collections have 10,000, but I know gutter cats only has 3,000. So that's why the cheapest ones now are in the 2000s and higher, right? But look at this one right here. This is rank 1000. So this is in the top 50% of rarity, and it's 2.79 ETH. Better investment to buy this one than any of the ones around it because it's just more rare, um, right? So that one's in the 1000s. This one would be the next one, right? So you would never want to buy this guy. You would never want to buy any of these, especially because you have a pretty rare one that's cheaper. So sometimes in the collections, it's a good idea to come and let me go back to Bored Apes because there's 10,000 of those in the numbers. Are you get a bigger range. So I'm going to go filter by buy now, right? So now we're in the market for a Bored Ape. We just want the best bang for our buck. We want the rarest one possible for the least amount of money. So buy now, sort by price low to high. Okay, now we're dealing on a scale of 10,000. So it turns out that this first one at the floor is about halfway through that rarity scale. It's just kind of ugly, right? Um, you know, so 7,000, 9,000, 7,000, 8,000. These are some of the most undesirable as far as rarity. Now we got some 3,000s here, so this is even better, right? So this is in the top 30% of rarity for 14 ETH, pretty close to the floor. The floor was 13.5, so for one more ETH, you can get one that's actually in the top 30% of rarity. Cool. So filtering by now, sorting price low to high, using these rarity numbers is a good way to snipe um, the best bang for your buck, right? Um, so let's go back to Figma. Maybe we'll jump to another collection. Maybe we have some ladies watching. So let's look at the World of Women. A really impressive collection. It's got a lot of backers. Gary V is all over this project. A lot of big crypto influencers, um, and I minted a lot of World of Women when they first came out for 0.077. I sold a couple too early, but I still have some. So if we come to World of Women, we can see they've done a lot of volume. So just in the past 7 days, 4,121 Ethereum. So if we want to snipe a good one, let's just filter by now. Let's sort by price low to high. And these are out of 10,000. So, okay, expected. We expect to see the not rare ones at the floor, right? But as we go, okay, 5,800, not bad, not bad. You know, can we find any steals? Anything in the 3,000s or anything in the 2,000s or even 4,000, right? 2,500, boom. So here we have a almost top 25% in rarity for one Ethereum, you know? She's likely setting the floor for a lot of these traits. So now you may want to go back and go to OpenSea, filter by some of these traits to see if you have that gap between her and the next one, like we saw that gutter cat a minute ago, right? Like, can I buy the floor and then make the floor and still make a profit in between? With opportunities like this, I'm sure you can. And you can also click to see when it was listed, to also determine like how long has it been on the market. So if we click her, um, the trading history down here will always be filtered by sales and transfers. So if you just clear this, we can see when it was listed. So it was listed 2 hours ago. It was actually listed 4 hours ago, and then they made it a little bit cheaper, right? So it hasn't been on the market long. They've actually done a few listings and price drops within the last day. They probably need some Ethereum for something else they want to buy, but it hasn't been listed for days, right? It's been listed for a couple hours. So opportunity here to check it out. So that's the idea with using rarity tools. And yeah, definitely check that out. So I think that's enough time spent on avatar projects. Um, you guys get the ideas. All the projects that I have here, I like. I own not all, but most of these projects, and definitely check them out. So next, I'm not sure if we did um, generative art. I'm not sure. Even if we did, I know that we didn't look at some of these. So I'm going to go to um, look at some of the art blocks ones, because maybe this just doesn't appeal to you, right? Maybe the avatar stuff just isn't up your alley. So if it's not, then generative art probably will be. So if I come to OpenSea and I go to art blocks, here's their 3 contracts. You have curated, factory, and playground. Curated are the ones that actually like art blocks works closely with the artist. They run more of a campaign, usually more popular artists. Factory and playground are easier to submit your art to if you're a generative art creator, but it's all good stuff. It's just kind of a way that they segment it. So if I go to art blocks curated, right, you've got, these are all NFTs, but they are all come from a series within art blocks. So you have to filter down here which project you want to look at. So if we go to Chromie Squiggles, for example, right? Generative art, Chromie Squiggles, depending on the thickness, the blurriness, all these little things. And you see the prices on these, like it's no joke. I don't think you can get a Chromie Squiggle for, let's see, let's go buy now, and let's sort by low to high. So 6.3 Ethereum, so $20,000 is the cheapest Chrome Squiggle right now. They go up to the hundreds of thousands again. You can even sort if you want to know, like, okay, yeah, that's what they're priced at, but what are they actually selling for? Turn off the buy now, sort by recently sold. And the price you see on the bottom is what it sold for. So this one actually, this one sold probably today, maybe within the last few minutes. So 43 minutes ago, this one was bought for that same around $28,000. So we can see there's a healthy floor, an active floor around 20,000 bucks. People are buying the floor on these. This one, this one was purchased for 12.69 Ethereum, uh, 7 hours ago. And if we click it, we'll see the transaction. So it was $40,000 for this chromie squiggle. All right, anyways, Fidenzas are dope. Where's the Fidenzas? So I love the Fidenzas. Let me close chromie squiggles. Fidenzas came out. Really cool generative art. Dope properties. Click one of these things. See all the different properties. We're priced out of these. These are more than the squiggles. These are, $50,000 to get one of these things right now. Look at this one. This one right here, 607. Let's see if it'll open up. Okay. This Fidenza sold yesterday for 300 Ethereum. So that's $965,000. So almost $1 million yesterday. This one sold for. Wild. So maybe buying one today for 40,000 isn't that bad, right? This one sold for 92, 42. So, this is like owning a Picasso. If you own a Fidenza, and these came out in, March or something. When were these minted? 2 months ago. So this project is 2 months old. And when it came out, they were like zero point 0.5 Ethereum or 0.05, something, a couple $100 to mint these when they came out. You just had to be aware and you just had to get one. And there's people that got multiple and they're probably still sitting on them and they're just, they're flying. So that's cool. Another like cool project that I like is actually in the Art Blocks factory. I want to show you. It's more interactive. It's called Art Blocks Timepiece, right? So another example of generative art. And you see what these look like. Pretty cool. And they're real-time clocks. So if we click one of them, it's moving. And if you click it, it shows the hands, right? So the yellow area is the minute hand. It continue to move and so on. Let's click another one. I think they're also dope. This one's nuts. Right. So they have like these NFT frames that you can buy now, or you can project this on a TV or something. But I think that's a cool idea with these is to display it. And these are like the Fidenzas. These just came out. You can get one now for like, it looks like this one just sold for 0.4, so less than half of an Ethereum. You can get one of these timepieces for. Um, you know, Check out the traits, the properties. Let's go down and see. So it's like the background colors, the blob size, color order, all this kind of stuff, which was all part of the script that, was used to generate these. So super cool. If you like the generative art, I, definitely go through and click some of these different projects and, start finding stuff that you like. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back. We looked at generative art. I just want to show curio cards because I think it's important for like, just to know what they are. So these are one of the first NFT projects that was like a collection of things together. and it's all over the place, and the art's not that great, but you know, these are like, so if we go to the actual website, so we search curio cards, click the chip, view the collection, go to their website, and you can kind of see, okay, so there's 30 of them. I think earlier I said there's 18, but there's 30. So if we go to gallery, so there's 1,809 number ones, 1,630 number twos, right? So there's only 460 number fours, 438 number fives, right? Um, 514s, and so on. So for a long-term play, you know, definitely get your eyes on some curio cards. Find some. Here's that number one, 18 grand. But some of the others, like this one, number 14, it's only, only one Ethereum. You own a piece of history, um, right? 0.31, $1,000 for number 13. How many are there of those? 2013. So it's one of them, but it's only 2000. We've been looking at collections with, there's thousands of 10,000 Bored Apes, 10,000 CryptoPunks. There's only 2,000 number 13 curio cards. So, um, right? Uh, Gary V, Mark Cuban. Actually, I don't know about Mark Cuban, but Gary V definitely is vocal about curio cards. Um, so, okay. So I think, and if you wanted to buy one, obviously, you click it, you hit buy now, you click it. I don't have any money in this wallet, but you would just go through the flow that the wallet tells you. And depending on the Ethereum network and how much transactions happening on it, you're going to pay a gas fee. So if there's a lot of activity on the network, the gas fee may cost more than the NFT. If you're shopping at prime time and there's a lot of things going on in the network and you're trying to buy a cheap NFT for $30, the gas fee may be $50. It's just it's blockchain. You just got to decide, But sometimes when there's a project that comes out and you're on the project's website and you've got thousands of people trying to buy whatever you're, looking at, um, sometimes it's worth it to pay, a lot of money in gas because if you average out, like if you're buying, like say when Gutter Cats first came out, they allowed you to mint 10 of them in one transaction from the Gutter Cat website. Um, there were more people trying to buy one than there were available. Plus, you could buy multiple. So to buy 10 Gutter Cats and say they were $100 each, and it was, $1,000 in gas to get gas fee to get the 10. Now you averaged $200 a piece for each Gutter Cat. The cheapest Gutter Cat we just looked, for $5,000. So it's worth it. But there's just, trial and error, playing around, following the drops and following, find a collection that's coming out, watch it drop. Once it drops, watch it on OpenSea, watch it the next day, watch it the next day, see what the volume is, see if the floor price is increasing, just get familiar. And then when you're ready to pull the trigger on a new collection that's dropping, you'll know what to expect and you know what to look for. Shopping these old collections, like shopping, collections, anything that's on this page, shopping hash masks, shopping curio cards, shopping fidenzas, that you can do anytime. And if the gas is super high when you try to do it, just come back an hour later and try to do it again. Um, So that's how that works. So I guess the last thing I want to do is show you how to create a watch list, right? And monitor listings of collections that you're after. So if you go to stats and you go to activity, this is just a continuous feed of everything on OpenSea that's sold, right? Because we're on sales. So this, whatever the heck this is, sold a minute ago. Fine. Not very helpful. Um, but here's what is. Once you've isolated some collections that you are interested in, that are in your price point, maybe a little above your price point because you're trying to snipe one that gets listed lower, whatever the case is, um, build, follow what I'm about to do and save it. So it's easier for you to access later, right? So let's say I'm in the market, I'm coming in with, I don't know, whatever. I want something, I want a World of Woman. So I'm going to add that to my filter. So I'm looking for a World of Woman. I'm looking for a maybe cool cat, hash mask. I'm looking for a hash mask. And I'm looking for, a sad frog. I don't know, right? So now that I've got this, if I filter by listings, as these are listed, and actually I'm going to get rid of cool cats. So say you're just in the market for one of these, you're coming in with 1 Ethereum. You want to, you believe in these 3 projects. You know roughly what the floor is. Maybe you've already studied the traits, so you know what to look for in the visuals. So you've created this listings with these filters. Save this link somewhere. Save it in your toolbar, save it somewhere so you can just sit down and easily open it and be here. And as these things are listed, like this frog just popped up for 0.22. It's actually the cheapest one on this page. Looks like he has a lot going on. So just for entertainment, I have no idea about this collection really. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 522. Look at the properties. So it's not bad actually. So the cheapest property, not the cheapest, the rarest property is this 2%. So if I click that 2%, so look at this. Sort by price low to high. Let's just make sure we're, oh, okay. So if you want this property, there's actually a cheaper one, right? It looks like this crazy head thing. So nothing special. If this one was the cheapest and the next one was a nice, distance away in Ethereum, it could have been a bargain. Could have been a good opportunity. So I'm gonna actually, let me show my bookmarks. I'm gonna click on my activity link this is my current one. So I'm always in the market for hash masks. I like to know what's going on with CryptoPunks. I like to know what's happening with Bored Apes. And also any Bored Ape dogs. One of the benefits to owning a Bored Ape was they sent you a Bored Ape dog. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. And the Bored Ape dogs now are $5,000 or $6,000 at the floor. I'm always in the market for curio cards. I know anything under Ethereum is worth, anything under 1 Ethereum on a curio card is worth clicking on. And then I, go to the curio cards and I see like, all right, is it a rare one or not? Like if ink gets posted for less than 1 Ethereum, I'm on it because there's only 438 of them. Sometimes people are just selling them because they need to get some Ethereum. The good thing about NFTs is they're so liquid in that you can, maybe they want to buy it back later. The Damien Hirst currencies, I don't want to get into that, but definitely Google and watch the YouTube and understand the purpose of that project, the Damien Hirst currency project. Super dope. Um, Meebits were made by Larva Labs, the same people who did CryptoPunks. So anything they do is potentially really valuable and already is proven to be. Um, I like the fuck crystals. I think I mentioned anyone who owns one of these has, early access to future NFTs by this artist. So I think the next time he announces an NFT release and that the fuck crystals people will be first in line, it will cause the fuck crystals price to go up because people will need to buy one in order to get. It may be an exclusive to only fuck crystal holders, you know. So like, hey, you can only get one of these if you have a fuck crystal. So I'm gonna make sure I stock up on the fuck crystals because when that happens, I'll sell some of them to those people who are just FOMOing, because they can't get that NFT otherwise. Another cool one, you can take note of this, the Proof of Beauty London gift. I'm in the market for more of these. Um, yeah, so this kind of just, I got a monitor that's almost dedicated to this page, and it kind of stays open. And I'm so familiar with it that I can just browse and I call it sniping, snipe cheap ones, as they pop up. But it's definitely bookmarked. And I also have one. Let me go to. I also have one just for art blocks, just for generative art, right? So I have Art Blocks Factory, Curated, and Playground. I'm pretty familiar with all the Art Blocks projects. Um, this Fidenza just got listed for like $1 billion. Unbelievable. Um, you know, but some of these projects are the next Fidenzas. This archetype, for example, and then you can also add sales too. So if you want to see the listings and sales to kind of get both sides of things, you can. Um, this ring Scada. So this actually, these are, potential for next Fidenzas because they have that kind of same vibe. It's like super dope. Put it on your wall. It's like owning a Picasso. Um, and the floor has been rising on these too. So they look like this, and they're animated. So actually, I can't. So it's better if I actually go to the Art Blocks Playground page and then filter by them, so you can actually see. Oh, here's what they look like. See, Rinsada. I don't know how you say it. Rinsada. But when it's animated, so when you see it, they start and they grow into that final image. Um, And I can just come down here while I'm on one of them quickly and go to the properties. And the first property is all rinsadas, because remember, this is art blocks is tricky because some of these properties are across the different collections. So it's not like the Bored Apes, or it's not like these properties are contained within one collection. You have a lot of different types of series in the art blocks. So, but if I go to all rinsadas, Renecitas, maybe. I think I'm saying that completely wrong. Renecitas. So here they all are. Buy now. Sort low to high. So 1.59 is the cheapest right now. Right. They've got the most similar vibe to me as the Fidenzas, So like how if you're priced out of Bored Apes, you're looking at Gutter Cats. If you're priced out of Fidenzas, you're probably looking at things like this. Um, and actually, I'm almost done here. I just want to show one more. I mean, honestly, you could do this for days. Art blocks. I think it's a factory project. It's called Low Tide. So Art blocks factory, Low Tide. So filter by Low Tide. I think these are cool. They're little like fish ponds, and they're animated, and they're little schools of fish. So they're not interactive, but they are animated. And the properties are like how many groups of fish, how many fish total, how many schools, what's their behavior, what's the size of the rocks, all that kind of stuff. And the expensive ones have like a starfish in them, So I've been looking for Actually, there's a few properties here that I like. I like the ones that have like the different colored fish in them, like this one, right? It's got like green fish, pink fish. The shadows make it look like other fish, right? They just kind of swim around. I don't know. It's cool. Check it out. And have a notepad. So it's like if that's something you're interested in, filter down, write down what's the floor of them today. And then in 2 days, do the same thing and write down the floor price again. And, you know, um, you can easily decide, like, other than the fact that if you just like it, but if it's, from a financial standpoint, you can decide, like, is this growing? Um, all right. Well, I think that about does it. I talked about these monster blocks, how you can stack them. So let's go to monster blocks. We'll probably see some, yeah, so like here's the individual blocks, right? And then here's a stack. It's a tower. So someone owned two of these, went on the Monster Blocks website, connected their wallet, and hit stack. Burned the two originals and got minted a stack. So this is actually stacked a couple times. So this tower is 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks. So floor blocks stacked, and I'm sure in the properties somehow it indicates that. So the properties, so these are the properties of all the blocks separately, like the bricks and the flourishes or whatever. And then the level is the tower height. So it's 4 stacked. So it looks like you can stack 40 tall, 40 blocks tall, which means 120 unique little things because each block has 3. These on the outside are the flourishes, and then the actual bottom block, middle block, top block for each one is, you know, rare or different rarities you have to filter. Um, yeah, and I'm demoing with a wallet here that has nothing, but if you owned something, of course, you could click on it, you could sell it. Um, you also will receive offers that you can accept. Um, and also check out Rarible, which is another OpenSea, which is another marketplace. Just different kind of things, different type of art. Anything that's on Rarible is also on OpenSea. So, and it's funny actually, well, not funny, but if I come down here to like top collections, we're going to see a lot of the stuff we just looked at: art blocks, Bored Apes, World of Women, Fuck Crystals, right? So Vox, it's just a different interface. And if I click on something here, here's the World of Women, and I click the 3 dots, or actually I have to actually open it. And then if you go to the context menu, you can hit view on OpenSea, right? So the art's on the blockchain. The marketplaces are just interfaces that my computer ran out of disk space, but um, yeah. So anyways, all these NFTs you can pretty much access on Rarible or OpenSea. Some marketplaces will only display NFTs that were minted on them. That's your maker's place, your foundation, things like that. Um, Rarible's cool. It's just not as like, it doesn't offer as many tools as OpenSea does. Like you can't even filter here by traits, or you can't sort by price. Um, but there are some other benefits. Um, you've got different collections by different artists. Um, you got kind of a leaderboard of top sellers and top buyers in different time frames, current auctions. So I think OpenSea. Rarible is like more artist driven. Like Kid 8, he's a artist I follow. Super dope. He makes these one of one, or sometimes they're multiples. And he'll announce the sale or the auction on Twitter, and they become pretty valuable. So if you get one of these, it's almost surely, with every drop he does, the previous ones have gone up in value. Um, so pretty neat. Um, that's about it. The last thing, I just want to say is make sure you keep records, have a spreadsheet where you can record, the date you bought something, how much Ethereum you paid for it, how much the US dollar value was, how much was the gas. Um, and then, when you have an offer, when you go to sell it, you can record those same things. Because the price of Ethereum fluctuates, you may actually gain Ethereum but lose dollars, or gain dollars but lose Ethereum. Um, so depending on your objective, the best scenario is if you gain Ethereum and dollars. Um, but keep records, and yeah, that's about it. So if you have any questions or any comments, any feedback, any topics you want me to dive into a little further, provide me feedback, and happy to do it. Good luck and see you later.